tell you something, homie. I didn't have no show. I was working with the same organization that works against you niggas. James Prince got a house full of them niggas, them sex offender peddlers. Cause the FBI want the Houston Police Department and James Prince too. Why you think Houston police keep turning the other way on all these murders, nigga? How do you think James Prince can get a police report, nigga, to an open murder investigation that includes his son? And none of the stuff is redacted. None of the information on this none of this names is blotted. How can James Prince get access to that, nigga? So, nigga, he working with the police, I'm working with the government.
Charleston White never holds his tongue when it comes to J. Prince Jr. Well, that whole mob tie circle. The tension between them has been bubbling for a long time, and Charleston isn't the type to play nice. He destroys anyone who steps out of line. The second Houston's name came up, the energy shifted. The debate turned to whether Houston is truly a safe place for black celebrities to chill, perform, and party without any chaos. And that's when Charleston turned the temperature all the way up. Run up on me, James Prince. I'll go to war with the damn police over everything I got right here. Charleston fired off with zero hesitation. What's wrong with you? I ain't scared of nothing. I'm ready for war. His voice was fierce, every word loaded like a weapon. He didn't just talk tough. He made it sound like a declaration. The man wasn't backing down. He was daring anyone to test him.
But that ain't got nothing to do with Houston. That had more something to do with him having something to do with Dawg. And she playing gangster. But man, you can go to Houston, man, and really enjoy yourself.
You can.
Cause this thing, I done said Jay Prince had sold out shows. I done talked about ESG. And I go to Houston and enjoy myself.
Then Charleston went even deeper, straight into the pain of Takeoff's tragic death. He used that moment to prove his point, saying Houston streets aren't as safe or loyal as people make them seem. And just when it couldn't get more intense, he dropped the real bomb, calling out J. Prince Jr. by name. That shot wasn't random, it was calculated. Charleston wanted everyone to know the smoke was personal, and the message was loud and clear. Black stars can move safely through Houston, but only if they keep their distance from J. Prince Jr. and that mob ties crew. That single line set social media on fire. Mention my mother's name, I'll make you throw your whole life away. Charleston snapped, his voice dripping with venom. You a chump to me, boy. You and your whole mob ties clique. You can suck my D******. He wasn't playing, and he wasn't sugarcoating anything. Charleston made it crystal clear where he stands. No confusion, no apologies. Anyone who's watched Charleston's wild rise knows this beef runs deeper than words. This ain't no back-and-forth internet drama. This is open war. He didn't dance around the subject. He charged right through it. Charleston practically dared J. Prince Jr. to respond, like he was calling him out in front of the whole world. Stay away from J. Prince Jr. and you'll be fine in Houston, he warned. But if you get fooled into thinking you need to check in with him, that's when the trouble starts. He even brought up what went down the night Takeoff was killed, saying he'd heard stories right after it happened about who was talking, who was quiet, and who was shooting fake dice. According to Charleston, it wasn't just bad luck. It was a setup waiting to happen. If you like to gamble, that's how they'll catch you slipping, he said.
Make the white boy motorcycle game. Make Taylor Swift check in. Make Khloe Kardashian check in. What's the white boy name on The Voice? Make every motherfucking body check in. What's the white boy name down here? Post Malone. Make him check in. Yeah. Why the niggas got to check in? I just left Houston last week. I ain't check in. Yeah, I went through Houston, went to Beaumont. Nah, I ain't check in. So why the niggas got to check in, Mr. Prince? Mob ties?
You hang with Bowie and them J. homies, you're asking for it. His warning was clear. The danger comes when you start chasing that fake street respect. But Charleston didn't leave it all on a negative note. He said Houston is still a beautiful city, a player's town, full of energy, money, and opportunity. You stay with your people, mind your business, and you'll have fun till the sun comes up, he said. Houston's been a player city forever. They only get gangster when they need to. Then he flipped the message again, tearing into the whole check-in culture like never before. almost daring anyone to prove him wrong about that so-called power everyone brags about. He called the whole thing a flat-out scam, nothing more than a fake safety net used by guys like Jay Prince Jr. to act as gatekeepers and keep people scared. It's Charleston white on mine. I don't claim no city. I represent a nation, he barked, voice full of pride and venom. He bragged about land, resources, and readiness, making it clear he wasn't some punk to be played with. The message was brutal and unambiguous. He's bigger than any one neighborhood, and he won't be bullied. That line alone lit the feed up like gasoline. Charleston didn't hold back the threats either. He rattled off that he rolls armored and armed, ready to go to war with anyone who runs up on him. Run up on me. James Prince. I'll go to war with the damn police, he shouted, daring people to test him. He painted a picture of a man who has bulletproof vests, a trunk of weapons, and zero fear of consequences. The tone was pure challenge, loud, dangerous, and completely unfiltered. Nobody could miss the intent. He meant every word. The internet reacted exactly how you'd expect. Chaos. Clips exploded. Comment sections split between people calling him a clout chaser and others praising him for saying what everyone's been whispering. He even claimed police and gang units were calling him about their own fear of certain figures. The drama spilled into official channels. Half the feed was outrage, half was cheering, and everybody was watching to see who'd blink first. The whole thing became an instant spectacle. Then he went back to the bigger point. Houston is a player's town, but don't confuse a city with a mob. You can come to H-Town with your chain on, hit the club, and have a good time, as long as you don't check in with Jay Prince Jr., he warned. He accused mob ties of extorting people and manufacturing fake street power to control others. He even dropped stories about how the crew acts different when they roll into other cities, on best behavior when they're away from home. Bottom line, have fun in Houston, but keep your distance from that circle. That's a rule he kept repeating. They be on their best behavior, Charleston said. They only pull that fake extortion stuff on weak rappers. He called it what it really is, street bullying. Too many artists, he said, fold under pressure, walking straight into traps they should have seen coming. That's when the conversation flipped from heated to explosive. Charleston dropped a bomb. He claimed Jay Prince Jr. walked right past Takeoff's body the night he was killed, acting like it didn't even matter. He questioned it out loud, shaking his head in disbelief. How you gonna act like you care? He said, but you ain't even stopped to help? That line alone sent shockwaves through social media. Fans froze, whispering, what kind of man could do that? Charleston wasn't done. He took aim at the myth of mob ties, saying they are not real mafia, just street dudes playing pretend. They don't run judges, unions, or cities, he said. They just act tough for the cameras. Charleston went deeper, painting a cold, cinematic picture. He described Jay Prince Jr. standing calm and detached as chaos unfolded, emotionless, hollow, like the whole tragedy meant nothing. He don't have that mystique no more, Charleston said. Now he looks nervous, like Whack 100 done got under his skin. He even hinted that Whack's ties with the feds had Jay Prince Jr. on edge, shaking, watching his every move. He know it. I know it. The FBI know we know it, Charleston warned, voice deadly calm. That image, Jay Prince Jr. walking past Takeoff's body, broke the internet. Charleston kept going, accusing mob ties of only showing emotion when it's one of their own. If it ain't their people, he said, they don't even blink. The crowd online went wild, analyzing every frame of footage, every facial expression, every tiny move. Some said Charleston was just chasing headlines. Others swore he was exposing the truth that everyone else was too scared to say. And then came the challenge, straight-up war talk. Come on out here, Charleston barked. We ready for whoever. If you a mob, then I'm a nation. The internet erupted all over again. Comment sections flooded with one line over and over. If this is what checking in gets you, count me out. Charleston ended it with a warning. Y'all don't make the police check in, so why should we? If I got to get security, I'll hire whoever I want. White, black, don't matter. I don't owe nobody a damn thing. That's why I don't respect any of that, Charleston said. You just making your people check in. That ain't how the mob works. The real mob makes everybody pay a price. The judge, the police chief, the cops on the beat. Everyone has to feel the consequences. But this? Nah, it's fake, and that's why I can't respect it. He shook his head, clearly frustrated. Whack 100 tricked Mr. Prince. Man, normally, Mr. Prince don't even talk, but now, drama follows his name like fire to gasoline. Whenever J. Prince Jr.'s name drops, chaos is guaranteed. Charleston didn't hesitate to expose that energy, even pointing out how mob ties have zero influence in cities like Dallas. We ain't afraid of J. Prince up here, he said. His sons? None of that matters. If they tried to do something, they'd find out we're not playing. They are only big in Houston. Mob ties don't exist up here. The tone was defiant, showing he's not just talking. He's calling out the power structure. Charleston tore into their street reputation next. When police kill someone, where's mob ties? When a murder goes unsolved, where's mob ties? When women are being abused, where's mob ties? He pointed out that their so-called influence doesn't actually serve the people. We're out here working for the kids, for the community, and these guys don't do a damn thing. His words were sharp, a clear call out to the people who think the organization is untouchable. He doubled down on the point, stressing the hypocrisy of fear and respect in Houston. If one family is running a city, that's a weak city. That's a weak place, he said. People in Houston are afraid to stand up for themselves. They need someone to speak out because they sure as hell aren't going to. That's why I'm here. Charleston's voice carried the weight of someone willing to confront fear head-on, no filter, no holding back. Then he reflected on his reputation. Charleston White and hold back? Those words don't belong in the same sentence. That's an oxymoron, he said with a smirk. Even just saying it, it doesn't make sense, because I don't hold back, and you know it. And as always, he came back to the jugular, reminding everyone why it's not just commentary, his action, speaking truth when nobody else will. I'm here to give my 2 cents, and I respect the people who can't speak up for themselves. Someone's got to stand up. You know, people in Houston are afraid. Unfortunately, that's just a reality. Somehow, mob ties has gained an insane stronghold on the city, and they've been working with the police. Allegedly, and I say that purely as a legal defense, they're even cooperating with the feds. But honestly, I 100% believe it. Think about it. Murders, extortion, celebrities getting targeted at dice games, all of these sketchy situations. And the Houston PD just looks the other way? If this were New York, this would already be a RICO case. That's exactly how the 9 Trey Bloods were taken down. Years of murders, robberies, extortion, and illegal activity all compiled under federal charges. From everything we've seen and heard, mob ties operates in much the same way. They engage in the same patterns of activity. There's no reason a RICO shouldn't have hit them years ago, unless the organization is working with the federal government. That's the only logical explanation. They're cooperating. They're protected. That's how people get away with murder, extortion, and organized crime. If we apply Occam's razor, the principle that the simplest explanation is usually the correct one, the conclusion is clear. The only way the Prince family could operate with impunity is if they are working with feds. Either someone else takes the fall, or you cooperate with law enforcement. That's just how it works. So yeah, I agree with Charleston White. That's exactly what I believe. Legally, we say allegedly, but in reality, they are protected. They are working with the authorities. There's literally no other way this could happen. No other dimension. No other universe. They wouldn't be able to commit these crimes and get away with it otherwise. There's no way they get away with what they are doing unless they are working with the feds. Bro. And that's exactly what's happening. But here's the thing. They are selective about who they try to pressure. They are afraid to push back against people with real power, people from Leo Cohen's lineage, biker gangs, or anyone with serious connections. Think about it. They are not going to make someone like Michelle Wu check in when she comes to Houston. She could literally call the National Guard or reach out to a senator. That's not happening. Same thing with Bernie Sanders. I like him, so don't twist this. But imagine if he ran again in 3 years. The Prince family wouldn't even attempt to extort him. Why? Because they know the consequences of going after people with influence and resources. Yet, they target black people. That's the pattern. They selectively extort, ignoring politicians and wealthy people who could push back hard. Houston has tons of Republican and Democratic politicians running businesses and making millions, yet none of them are checking in with the Prince family. Why? Because the Prince family knows going after them will be dangerous. They are scared. They are hiding, hoping these powerful people won't notice them. If you're really about the mob life, the energy should be consistent across the board. If you're going to make people check in, make everyone check in. Politicians, celebrities, whoever's making the money. Tens of millions of dollars on the table, and they are leaving it untouched because they are selective, cowardly, and discriminatory. Compare this to the Italian mob. There was no discrimination. If you were told to check in, you checked in, period. No excuses, no exceptions, no hiding under the bed hoping nobody came out. That's how real power worked. Oh, this person's going to do it. No, the real mob didn't pick and choose. They were coming for politicians too. They were rigging baseball games, influencing elections, gerrymandering districts, getting certain mayors elected. They had a chokehold. They made everyone check in, baseball players, politicians, business people. No discrimination. Back in the day, if Bernie Sanders, or anyone, was part of the landscape, the real mob would have made them check in. Every single person. Bro, literally every single person. That was the standard. That's what it meant to be the mob. No favoritism, no selective targeting. Keep that type of energy, or you're a disgrace to the name of the mob. Not mob ties. The real mob, the Italian mob that everyone tries to imitate but can't touch. Those dudes were on a whole different level. Ruthless, smart, and untouchable. You are nowhere close. You're selective. You extort based on race and vulnerability. The real mob didn't discriminate. If you refuse to cooperate, your entire family felt the consequences. Politicians included. Everyone. This is where the difference becomes clear. What we're seeing today isn't about integrity, morals, or standing on your business. No, this is an anti-black terror organization masquerading as a mob. Their purpose is fear, violence, and extortion, specifically targeting black people. Their goal is to make Houston feel unsafe, to make people walk around scared, thinking they have no protection, no support. They are not allowed to be in Houston unless they check in with the Prince family. That's the idea they are trying to push. But it's not going to work. More and more people are going to refuse. They are going to go to Houston, never say a word to the Prince family, and nothing will happen. That influence will slowly erode, especially as J. Prince Sr. ages. Nobody respects his son. Once J. Prince Sr. is gone, that family's influence is over. The whole checking-in thing ends there. J. Prince Sr. is the one who pushed that check-in culture. He wanted to emulate the real mob. He admired them, studied them, wished he could be like them, but he never truly achieved it. He was like a sideline watcher, observing the Italian mob, the real gangsters, the people putting in real work. He wanted to be like them. Think of it like that scene in Wrath of the Dragon when Trunks sees Tapion with his sword. Trunks looks at him and says, "I want to be just like him." Bro, that's J. Prince Sr. watching the Gambino crime family. He saw their chaos, their power, their destruction, and thought, I want to be just like them. I want to be the mob. I want mob ties. But here's the thing. They never had that level of leverage or power. They couldn't operate like the real mob, yet they tried to emulate them anyway. And now, it's twisted. It didn't turn into the mob. It turned into anti-black terror. They are playing at power they don't truly hold, and that's what makes it dangerous. A bunch of career criminals. Why would you want to be like those guys? Even though the Gambino family might have been more respectable than your family in some ways, they were still scumbags. Why were you looking up to them? Bro, you were led astray, and now you've ended up in an even worse position. You're looking goofy. It's bad. Now you've got Charles White online exposing your family, making you look horrible, a stain on your reputation. And it didn't have to be like this. You could have kept it strictly business, and that alone would have been legendary. In fact, from a purely business perspective, the Mob Ties family is impressive. The MAI family has achieved a lot, and on paper, business-wise, they are one of the most legendary black families ever. But here's the problem. When you factor in integrity, morals, and how you treat your own people, all those accomplishments start to crumble. That's what will define your legacy. People won't remember that you worked with Drake or ran successful ventures. Those things fade. What they will remember is that Mob Ties became the most anti-black terror organization in Houston's modern history. They tried to intimidate and extort every single black person they could. That's not how you want to be remembered. That's a bad stain on your family name, and it's going to hurt your family for generations. The future may look very different, less violent, more just, and this history will come back to haunt the family. Things like this rarely end well. Anyway, my time's up. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Snow's right here. Be easy, yo.